I can't tell them apart. I genuinely don't know. I'm gonna ask you to do something that I don't normally do on this channel. I'm gonna keep it very brief. I've spent a lot of money on this video, a ridiculous amount for this experiment, mainly for me, but also to bring some content to the table that's refreshing and new. Like and subscribe, it helps me out, really does. Share this video with other people who would be interested in this kind of thing. Right, let's get into it, that's enough of that. Many years ago, before my kids came into the picture, I owned a Honda Zoomer, a 50cc ruckus, as you might know it in the West. Now, with most things, over the years, it gradually grew into a state of disrepair. Parts needed to be replaced, things needed to be fixed. But, you know, originally that was an authentic, genuine retail bike from Japan, imported to where I live in China. But over the years, those parts that had to be replaced, they were replaced with non-authentic third-party pieces, the carburetor, the filters, the handlebars, eventually to the point where I switched the engine out for a GY6. Anyway, over the years, that bike slowly became less of an authentic product. What was it in the end? It was a real frame with lots of fake or third-party parts installed in it. So to what extent was that still an authentic product? Well, let's flip that. That got me thinking, what if we did the same for something that is not authentic and slowly replace parts on it to the point where it becomes authentic? How authentic is that product? That's a discussion in itself. Not the main topic of today's video, but it's certainly an interesting point worth thinking about.
Okay, we got a good one for you tonight. I recently purchased a two-tone Daytona from a very reputable dealer, and he shipped it to me, and we sent it over to Rolex, and Rolex flagged it. They alone you could spot it. They're taking a brand new watch, pulling the movement, putting a clone movement in, and passing it along, and most people would never know the difference.
Worth noting as well, before we get into the content here on this table, I know you're itching to know what's going on down here. This is for informational purposes only. I mean that, right? I'm here to help. It's against YouTube's terms and conditions to promote such things, to tell you where to get them. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna tell you where I got these things, okay? What I am gonna be doing is showing how close these replica items can get to the authentic product, especially when you start bringing authentic internal components into the picture, into the mix there. It gets very confusing. Now, I'm doing it as a hobby. I'm interested in this stuff. I love tinkering around and messing around with this stuff. There's other people who are doing this on a much larger scale, and I have that on good authority. People are doing this on a very big scale to trick, to deceive, to rip people off on the secondhand market, the aftermarket, the gray market, whatever you want to refer it to. Whenever you are buying a Rolex outside of a Rolex shop, you're at risk of being done over. That's why this video is being made. It's to help and to educate, all right? Now, that's out the way. We can get into this. Excuse the camera in front of me at this weird angle. It's to avoid the glare from above on the watch faces as I show them to you. I've got an array of items here in front of me, all right? So here I have a genuine Rolex that cost around £10,000, 100,000 RMB here in China. Absolute beauty. It's my favorite color, love it. I also have here a replica of that same watch. This one is from VS Factory. It's a VS Factory watch, blue dial. I've got a real versus fake video on the channel. I've got a couple of those comparing this to a clean to the gen. Couple different options there. I've also got here a VS with a gray dial. This is the watch we're going to be using. We're going to put a genuine blue dial like this. Going to get a separate blue dial. I'm not taking it out of this. I'm going to get another one, and I'm going to install that. Not personally, I'm going to get that installed into this watch and see how close we can get. And then, just for curiosity's sake, this is from Clean Factory. It's the same watch, but it is a Clean Factory grey dial, because I wasn't quite certain which one to put the blue dial in, the Gen dial. Now, from my research going into this project, the general consensus is that the lugs are better on the Clean. They're more accurate to the Gen. VS has a little bit narrower section here on the lugs here. See how they're a bit more pointed? When you bring the Gen into the picture, you can see that. The Clean has a slightly better set of lugs on it, but the bezel is thicker on the Clean. Bezel is better on the VS. Now these are all things that are discussed at great length on Reddit, so I'll leave people to that discussion. Frankly, I'm not really interested in it, but what I wanted to do was do the best job I could, right? So in my humble opinion, as an amateur fan of, I was going to say of watches, but of this watch in particular, I want to see how close I can get it. So the next step, of course, is to secure ourselves a blue dial, a Gen dial. We're going to hop online. Now, like any bright, intelligent, critical thinker, the first thing I'm going to do to try and find such a thing is hop straight into the YouTube comments. Bro, where do I get a... Oh! On a serious note, what I've got here is Xianyu, and now this is Taobao's second-hand platform. Taobao you'll be familiar with, this app not so much. Now, looking through here, what I can see is there's a lot of cheap rubbish, a lot of unauthentic dials being traded and sold on this platform, varying degrees of quality on here. But what I'm hoping to get into is the Gen stuff, because it is available. If there's anywhere they are stripping out components and putting in real ones, or vice versa, it's here. Here we go, we're getting into it now. I'm seeing some here, 15,000 RMB, so like $1,000 plus. Yeah, we're getting into it. Okay, so 42,000 here for this one. Yeah, we're looking at Gen products. Let's get into this guy. But you have to be very careful, as we have seen. I can't just assume because the price point that's been put on here that these are Gen. There are authentication services in China, of course, and I'll be making use of those services in this video later on. I've used one before, I meant to mention earlier. I've used it already for authenticating the Gen watch that we have here, so that's all above board. I'll probably go with the same service to authenticate the dial and bezel, depending how this project goes. For now, what we need to secure is a Gen dial. So I'll keep diving into this until I can find a good one, and we'll see how close we can get that clean gray, sorry, the VS gray dial watch to the Gen. See how close I can get it to this guy. Let's get into that now. Okay, we're back. So what I've done, I've gone ahead and ordered the Gen parts and had them authenticated. So I've got everything I need here. I've got the authentication certificate and I have the Gen parts. Now, I haven't opened this yet. It arrived, well, similar to this. They've rewrapped it after authentication. Didn't mess with it, just left it sealed, sent it off, and then had it authenticated. I will have to put some gloves on to handle these. I'm a bit nervous to handle them, to be honest. They're so delicate. Won't be unboxing the hands in there, but we will be looking at the bezel and we'll be looking at the dial, of course. So here's the certificate that we have. Good news is that everything is legit. It's amazing that they can authenticate to this level that you can see every single detail. So here it is where it arrived. That's what it looked like for them. And then they've taken them out and they've authenticated each one and then reapplied them back into the box. So pretty straightforward stuff. I want to make sure that it's wrapped up securely. See, it's already going slightly wrong. I'm a bit worried about this, handling this. This is okay. This Gen smooth bezel. Okay, that's all right. No problems there, but it's the dial that I'm a little bit worried about handling. It's going to be so delicate. It'd be an incredibly thin item, as will the dates. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna just have to shift the Gen and the VS out the way a little bit. Make sure I've got space here. I don't want anything to scratch it or any dust to collect on these things. Okay. I'm also having to peek around the back of the camera, which makes it a little bit awkward. Okay, so there's the Gen dates. There's all of our numbers. And the Gen dial. At this point, it's gloves time. Be very careful. There is our Gen dial. And camera has decided not to focus on that. Let me zoom in, see if that helps a little bit. Oh man. There we go. So you can see the sunburst on that. See how the light catches it? Beautiful. To be honest, there's a speck of dust on that already. I'm sure that when they actually put this into the watch, they'll clean it first. So what we need to do now is, let's get the, yikes, careful with the stuff. Gen side by side. I mean, I've already had it authenticated, but you can see those are exactly the same. Okay, you're looking at one through a crystal, so but you can just see it's the way the light catches that beautiful blue. It's really not doing it justice, this camera. I'm doing my best here, but what I really need is a macro lens, but I don't have my SLR anymore. Right, and then let's compare that to the VS one, okay? I can't manage the three at once. Can't move them around three at once. So what we'll do is I'll just put the Gen up there. And then let's have a look. There, you see the difference in color? It's got more of a subtle finish to it, this Gen dial. Man, struggling to get that in focus. That's better, there we go. That's looking nice, look at that. Beautiful. This camera's struggling to focus on both items, but there you can see the difference, okay? It's a slightly lighter blue. The sunburst effect is not as delicate as on here. See how it's more refined on here? Really confusing the lens. There we go. See how it's more refined, how it moves? Very, very light color to it. Whereas the Rep one, just not as subtle. Still beautiful. I think they're both beautiful. Well, let's have a look here at the watch getting done. He very kindly filmed every section of this. He filmed it arriving, he filmed showing that he got every single item in place. That's how I sent it over to him, and off he went. He did his thing. Now I've muted the audio of his videos because he was playing some obnoxiously loud tunes that would have resulted in a copyright strike. But I really appreciate this. Now this is quite common in China for any service to be filmed, but I didn't expect it to be this high quality. Unfortunately, he did it portrait mode instead of landscape, but I did what I could. So I've cropped it a little bit and zoomed in, but here it is. Here's my dial being unwrapped and him assessing every single item to show what condition it came in when it arrived. And then the most exciting part is when he actually starts to take apart the gray dial and put this butte on. Look at that. Look at the shine on that thing. It's beautiful. There won't be a lot of commentary on this clip as it goes through. I think I'll just let him do his thing, but I found it fascinating. I'm sure you will as well. Maybe I'll just shut up and you can enjoy the tunes and see him do this full thing, and then we'll come back in about, 8 minutes or so, and we will see the final result. Enjoy. Okay, we're back. You've seen it getting installed. That is no longer a VSF grey dial. It's got the same genuine dial as my genuine watch, obviously. This is going to be ridiculous. What I've asked my wife to do, she's just over there holding the watches. I've asked her to take the genuine off, whatever you call this guy. Feel free to rip on me in the comments, don't know what that is. I've asked her to put the real watch on another one of these and the fake watch with the gen dial on the same kind. So she's gonna bring them over shortly. All I know for now, the only thing I can be certain of, because I think this is going to be very difficult to tell them apart. This is going to be a tricky one. I know what I've got here. I know I have a VS here. This is a VS blue dial. VS factory blue dial 41. She's bringing them over. She's coming now. Desperate not to be on camera, bless her. But there we go. Thank you. And she's not going to tell me which one is which sucks because I I can't tell them apart. I genuinely don't know which one of these is the fake. Oh my goodness. Okay. Right, there's probably people hammering me in the comments because they've spotted it straight away. Okay, so look at those dials. Damn. Am I getting hammered in the comments right now? Because I can't tell. Okay, I think I've sussed it. I think I've got it off the lugs because we did go with the VS and not the clean. So the lugs, I'm reaching, but I think the lugs are giving it away. Okay, let's look how the light is picked up on the bezel. Let me get up close on this camera, on the desk camera. Okay. Forgot to mention she set them to the same time and date. I'm looking at the movement. Let's look at the movement. A real Rolex movement kind of glides instead of ticks. So we're watching that very closely there. But having said that, this is in the realm of super clone, I would say. It is so damn similar. The light on the bezel. My goodness me, these things are similar. Right, I can't be 100% here. I think this is the gen. I think I've got the gen here. This one in my right hand. And this is the rep. And I'm going off the lugs alone. There's a slight difference in lug shape. Looking at the side, the rep from memory, it kind of tapers off a bit more aggressively. The lug is a bit of a sharper turn to it. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my answer. I'm pretty sure that is the rep. That's the VSF. But my goodness, aren't those close? I need to confirm this. I can't reveal to you. I don't really want to show you the serial code for my genuine product. I can tell you the last two numbers are 88 on it though. Let me check. 88. Okay, I got it. That's the gen. I was nervous there. I was nervous I'd got that wrong. That would have been a bit embarrassing. I'm double checking right there without showing you the serial. Yeah, I'm overthinking it now. There's no way. That would have been too much of a coincidence if the serial numbers were that similar. Yeah, man, that is crazy, is it not? That is crazy. That's me looking at them up close, live in my hands. You're looking at it in 4K. Maybe it jumped out to you. It did not jump out to me. Let's get, okay, so we've got the rep and the gen on the right, my right. And then let's put that VS in the middle. How does that look? Okay, bear with me. Okay, it's gonna be tricky to focus this, because there are different heights, but you can see there's a difference in the blue. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter which one I show you. Let's look at the rep now versus the unaltered rep. So we've got the regular VS on the right, and I've got the gen dial on the same watch on the left. Yeah, you see the difference in the blue? It was already pretty good. This is already a very, very close replica, but there is a difference. See how the light shines on it? We went over that earlier in the video, so I'm at risk of repeating myself, but I do want to show them together. You can see there's just that difference in the quality of the shine. The light kind of dances off the real one. Wow. Wow. Okay, well, there you go. There you have it, the grand reveal. This video is going to be way too long as it is. We can wrap it up there. We've seen what we need to see. We've compared the altered rep against the genuine, and man, those things are close. That is crazy. That is crazy. The takeaway from this has to be, you've got to be so careful out there. You have to be so careful. There's people who are messing with this stuff to an even higher degree than I have, where they're messing with the internals, they're messing with the movements. That's nuts, man. That's nuts. Well, there we go. I now have a very nice backup for my genuine. So, yeah. Don't need to worry about it in China, but in the UK, I can be confident in wearing my very high quality rep and keeping this one safe. Man, crazy. Thank you for watching. If you made it all the way through here, great. If you skipped to the end, that's cool as well. I'm glad you got to see the final product. Right, I can relax now. Cheers, guys. Keep it snidey.